Hi everyone! Welcome to my series of ClickUp tutorials. In this episode, I'll explain ClickUp views, which are essentially different ways of looking at the tasks and working on them in ClickUp. When I first started learning how to use the tool, I was very confused as to what kind of information can be found where and why does my tool look different from others. Well, as it turns out, views are designed exactly for this purpose, and I hope this video will provide you a good overview into using them efficiently. Whenever you open ClickUp, you're likely to be looking at some kind of a view, whether a default one or something you or your colleague has created. While the basic unit of work in ClickUp is task, most of us are working on several tasks, and this is why we need an organized view to our and others' work. Views are available and can be created on any level above task, be it space, folder, or list level. The basic view is a list of tasks, but there are many other options that are designed for different work management needs. To provide a few examples, someone might want to plan the work based on team capacity, so in that case, the workload view might be a good solution for that purpose. For a regular team meeting, a board view might be a good option to discuss work based on task statuses. A solo entrepreneur might consider Timeline to be the perfect view for ensuring that all of the relevant activities are fit into the weekly schedule. A great feature of ClickUp is that in addition to providing different views, most of them can be further tailored based on user needs. Each user can also have their own views and set them as private if needed. A view can be pinned to make sure it is easily found and appear first in the menu, and views can also be protected to ensure no one mistakenly changes or deletes them. There are a few more bonus views that allow for adding information. The first one is Doc, which is short for Documents. You can enter information in this view in a more free format than what the task and hierarchy structure would allow. A great use case for this would be team meetings, where recurring meetings are tasks and docs are used for taking notes on the discussion and decision points. Another view is the chat feature, which is meant for collaboration and intended for discussing topics which are not related to a specific task. The final and very useful view is Form, which allows to gather information from people, also those who are not ClickUp users. If you'd like to gather feedback on a product or create a customer contact form, this feature is the best solution for that purpose. Any submitted forms are automatically converted to tasks in ClickUp, which makes processing the feedback much easier. This feature is only available in the paid subscription plan. Let's look at views in ClickUp. As mentioned before, views are available on any level, and they refer to this large screen area on the right where you see tasks listed. On the top part of the screen, you can see a few of the standard views that are visible by default. By clicking on the plus view button, you can create a new view by selecting a format from the list. You can also choose to have the view public or private. Once you've added a view, you can further edit the settings by selecting it and clicking on the three dots. To provide some examples, you can rename, copy, or delete the view. You can make it a default for everyone, default it to show tasks only assigned to you, or protect it. There are also many other settings available. To customize what data the view shows, you have quite many options depending on the view format. I am showing here the standard list view, which is one of the most versatile ones available. In the top right menu, you have options to filter the list, group it based on certain criteria, display subtasks of each task, show only tasks assigned to you or others, as well as show closed tasks or task locations, to name a few of the functionalities. Another key option to modify the view is to add or remove fields in the list view. Click on the plus sign on the right side of a list, and you'll see a selection of standard fields available in the left side pane and the option of creating new custom fields on the right side pane. I'll talk more about creation of custom fields in a separate tutorial video. To remove any fields in the list view, right-click on the name of the column and select Hide Column. You can also sort data based on the columns and move them around either by using the menu selection or drag and drop. Based on my experience using ClickUp, there are a few tips I would recommend to consider when working with views. The first obviously has to do with having an organized workspace where people find information easily and collaborate effectively. While I understand that each has their own preferences in terms of working style and focus, it still pays off to have default views which are familiar to everyone and used consistently throughout all of the levels in a space. This not only provides a common baseline to discuss and work on, it also demonstrates what are the priority areas for the business. ClickUp has tens of data fields by default and the option to create many more, so I would strongly advise to use views to steer the focus on the most important ones. Having a default view in recurring meetings will also help people to stay on track and collaborate on areas that matter most. Having default views does not prevent people to have their own. Just ask to keep them mostly private, as otherwise you'll quickly end up with tens of different views with no logic as to how to use them and when. If you've already worked for a while in ClickUp, you've probably noticed how easy it is to change something in a task or a list. While views are very versatile, they also possess the risk of someone mistakenly changing or deleting information without even necessarily realizing of doing that. To eliminate these kinds of mistakes, I always recommend to use dashboards when ClickUp information is needed for reporting purposes. Deleting or changing information is a bit more complicated in dashboards, so this is a safer option when presenting data or providing information to someone less familiar with ClickUp use.